Long before supermarkets, fast food chains, or the invention of microwavable noodles, humanity had to figure out what on earth it was going to eat every single day. Out of that struggle came three genius inventions, or rather, three genius discoveries: rice, wheat, and corn. Each one was domesticated in its own corner of the world, and each one became so tied to human history that you could almost say civilization was built on their grains. Rice showed up in Asia, where patient farmers stood knee-deep in paddies, deciding that soggy fields could actually be a buffet if you played your cards right. Wheat rose out of the Fertile Crescent, the region where humans basically looked around at wild grasses and said, "What if we don't just eat this stuff, we make bread?" And in Mesoamerica, corn began its career as a scraggly little plant called teosinte before humans decided to beef it up into the glorious golden cobs we know today. That's not just agriculture. That's ancient human DIY at its finest. What makes it funny is how different their personalities were even in the beginning. Rice, of course, was the dependable introvert, quietly thriving in flooded fields, feeding entire dynasties while minding its own business. Wheat was the ambitious one, stretching its roots through Mesopotamian empires, eventually marching into Europe and strutting into bakeries like it owned the place. And corn? Corn was the eccentric cousin that started small and scrappy, then bulked up thanks to generations of farmers who basically bodybuilt it into a superfood. Imagine the conversations. Rice whispers, "I'll provide endless sustenance if you just keep me wet." Wheat declares, "Bow before me, for I am bread." And corn laughs, "I started tiny, but now I'm tacos, popcorn, and high-fructose corn syrup. Try and stop me." Their ancient origins also highlight just how inventive humans were. Think about it. Our ancestors didn't have labs, tractors, or YouTube tutorials. They just kept planting seeds, year after year, until wild grass became pasta, soggy plants became sushi rice, and teosinte transformed into your Friday night nachos. That's commitment. And it's also hilarious to imagine ancient farmers trying to convince their neighbors to stick with the experiment. "No, really, this grass will be bread one day. Trust me." Or, "I know these little kernels don't look like much, but give me a few centuries and I'll show you popcorn." Humanity is lucky someone was stubborn enough to keep at it, because otherwise we'd probably still be chewing on raw roots and berries instead of croissants and burritos. Another thing worth celebrating is how these grains didn't just stay local. They went global, becoming culinary ambassadors long before passports existed. Rice left Asia and took over Caribbean dishes, Italian risottos, and Cajun jambalaya. Wheat crossed borders to become everything from Indian chapati to German pretzels. The corn, meanwhile, practically invented the idea of cultural exchange, spreading from Mesoamerica to Africa and beyond, where it became polenta, pap, and countless comfort foods. They were ancient innovators but also early travelers, adapting to every climate and every kitchen with an enthusiasm that's honestly kind of impressive. So yes, rice, wheat, and corn have ancient roots, but their story isn't dusty or old-fashioned. It's alive, funny, and kind of heroic. They remind us that humans have always been creative, stubborn, and hungry. Without them, there'd be no bread to break, no rice bowls to share, and no popcorn to spill during a scary movie. Their origins may be thousands of years old, but their impact is fresh every single day, proof that the greatest inventions in history sometimes come in the form of tiny, humble seeds.